there, it's Katie. I wanted to make a video today just because I kind of had like a wake-up call with something that happened in my work environment, and just wanted to share the experience because it was really emotional and just like hit me really hard. So I made a previous video about my use of Naltrexone, which is an opiate blocker that I'm using for alcohol use disorder, and I've been on it for 2.5 months, and it's just been life-changing. It's like taking away my cravings for alcohol, and over time it's just getting less and less my desire to drink. I work at a retreat center here in California, and it's a place where you come and stay overnight for periods of time. And this gentleman was staying there. He was probably in his 60s, and he had been there for one night, and the next day was found on the floor in his room unconscious, and a huge gash in his head with like blood that had clotted over. And where I work, it's in a really remote location, so the cleaning person who found him, we couldn't get him to wake up, so they ended up airlifting him out of there, and he was taken to a hospital here in California, and turns out that he's gonna be okay, but he suffered a major concussion and is in really bad shape, especially because he's older. It's just, he's in bad shape. And what I did today was, because he was airlifted out of there, all of his stuff was left at the retreat center. So when he was airlifted out, the clothes he was wearing, they had to cut them off of him, so he was in the hospital with nothing, and not even his wallet, his phone, clothes, like he had nothing. And he's from Colorado, and I'm in California, so his wife is back in Colorado, and all this is happening, and it's just like this crazy thing. So today I was tasked with delivering his stuff to him at the hospital so he could have clothes and things to wear. And through that I was coordinating with his wife, and I learned from her that he suffers from major depression. And as I was like getting his stuff cleared out, the cleaning people had put it in his truck. I was getting clothes out of his truck, and I just noticed all these like wine bottles and wine openers and wine glasses. And when they found him in his room, they found a bottle cap to a gin bottle, but they didn't find any gin. And so when I met him at the hospital today, he kind of alluded to that maybe he had too much to drink and he fell over, and essentially what happened is he collapsed and he hit his head, and I'm guessing that knocked him out, and he actually ended up like wetting himself too. So all this to say, why this affected me so much today is because how much I saw myself and potentially some of my family members or others in the situation he was in today. There have been times where so many times where I've drank to total intoxication, blackout, where I pass out, don't remember why I got there, don't know where any of my stuff is, I've lost stuff, done countless stupid things that thank God I survived, you know, driven under the influence, made huge mistakes, crashed on a bike under the influence, just got really scraped up. Thank God nothing else happened. I wasn't even wearing a helmet. Hung out with really sketchy people. I mean, the list goes on. In the past like 8 years that I've been like drinking really heavily, especially a lot of the times drinking by myself, I've been in really sketchy situations, and thank God I've come out of them alive. And I saw this guy today, and he's, you know, in his 60s and suffers from depression and drank so much that he collapsed or fell over, hit his head. People don't really know how it happened, but he wound up unconscious on the floor with this huge gash in his head, and his face is all bruised, and his body because he hit the floor so hard. So yeah, I guess I'm just like realizing how many people are affected by alcoholism, how many people binge drink and do it alone and wind up in sketchy situations where your life is threatened, and thank God someone has found you, or you have a guardian angel, or something happens where you come out of it, or you don't. And it was just a huge eye-opener for me, because that could have been me in any situation, and I was choosing to drink, and to drink to to excess as much as I could, to where I couldn't even drink anymore. I'd be throwing up or passing out, and I was choosing that over life, over my own well-being, over my own safety. And just like this gentleman was, and who knows how long he's been spending his life doing that, if he's doing it in his 60s still. Yeah, so I guess all this to say, like, I am just so unbelievably grateful to have found naltrexone as a way out of this addiction and this disease of alcoholism. It, like, had grips on me. It was controlling my life. I was, like I said, I was choosing to binge drink over anything else, and often I would be alone, and I would often wind up in sketchy situations, or be throwing up the next day because I'm so hungover and have to make up excuses for why I'm so sick at work. And it was just, yeah, it was a huge eye-opener. I'm just felt so deeply for this man, felt so much compassion for this man and the situation he wound up in. And if you're an alcoholic, or you drink heavily, or whatever you want to call yourself, you abuse alcohol, you wake up the next day, and the shame and the guilt that you feel, like, even, you know, like, I would always want to practice self-care with myself, and I would tell myself, don't beat yourself up, like, you made a mistake, you know, and that's true. And it's like this overriding guilt and shame that comes along with drinking, and drinking to excess like that. And I think about him in the situation he's in. He was at this retreat center. He didn't get to complete his stay. He had to be airlifted out of there. Who knows? I don't even know what insurance he has, how much that's going to cost to be airlifted and have stayed in a hospital for several days. His wife's got to come out from Colorado to take care of him. He's totally beat up, suffered a concussion, like, all of this because of drinking, because of the level of pain and suffering he feels in his life, and how much that is pertinent in so many people's lives, and we don't talk about it, and we medicate it with alcohol or other means, and it's just, it breaks my heart. So yeah, I kind of, like, reinvigorated why I want to continue to make videos about naltrexone and the benefits of it and the life-saving ability of this medication, and to spread the word to everybody I know about naltrexone, and to help people that might be suffering and not know a way out, because the addiction is stronger than the will to live. The addiction overpowers everything. And just to imagine what that man felt in his situation that he's in, I can't, like, I feel it myself. I was like a bawling wreck. I was crying so much earlier, just understanding the level of pain he must feel, and so much compassion for him. So, yeah, I suppose that's all. Thank you.